The pressure is on. There are only 2 more events left for the 2019 KZN Road Racing Championships. Everyone is busy with their own final tweaking and fine-tuning of their racing machine. It's clear we're not in the playground anymore.
This is round 6 of the KZN Road Racing Club Championship.
And Power Sport are lined up on the start line, with Blaze Baker leading the pack from the green light. Entering turn 1, and it's Blaze Baker from Malcolm Rudman and then Drew Gates. Just this week, Gates was selected to try out for the Red Bull Rookies in Granada, Spain. A promising future in racing for this young man, who is only 15 years old.
It's an ever-growing field of power sports, with Duncan leading Llewellyn and Bruce. Out of turn 1, and Roy has just taken third from Bruce.
We're not even out of the apex, and Rudman has taken the lead from Baker.
It's the first time out in the power sports, and Kaz has just gone down.
Rudman and Baker gaining a massive lead from the rest of the pack. Out of the Dunlop South Loop, and it's clear that Rudman, Baker and Gates have it under control. We're on board with Vincent de Bock, still getting the hang of this 300 racing machine. De Bock has been showing great class in the 150s throughout this year, catching the attention of GP Racing team leader Ghana Pillay, who convinced de Bock to take up the 300 class as well. Josh in the 300 goes down, with Llewellyn smashing into him.
And Duncan glides straight over Llewellyn, knocking himself out.
That's it, the race is being called with the red flag out. Race 2, and everybody has gathered themselves together, minus 2 of the riders, and away they go into turn 1. Exiting turn 4, and it's Malcolm Rudman, Blaze Baker and Drew Gates. Vincent de Bock, tell me about taking Nikolai Conchi's position in the 300 class. Tell me a little bit about that.
Nikolai actually was in an accident. He broke his leg, and Ghana asked me if I could fill in and use the 300 for this event. Really excited about using the 300 for this event, as it's a bigger CC to the 150. So really excited in getting the times up. I want to see how the day goes. Hopefully it goes good, get a good qualifying, and yeah, keep you guys updated.
Right, so here we are standing with Blaze Baker, who's just come off circuit there. Your Blaze P&Q 300 class, you've just run a 1:19.3, 3/10 quicker than Rudman, very close, 1:19.3, and it's looking good. You've incidentally moved into second position in the championship with Nikolai Conchi out injured, so it's all to go for you today.
Yeah, it's really good being closer up against Malcolm now. It's been a hard year chasing down that Kawasaki, so to get pole now it's a great feeling. So yeah, we look forward to the race, and hopefully we can convert it into a win. 2 rounds to go. I feel like the pressure has now hit me. It can go now to the next race where I can win. Just got to keep your head focused and keep pushing like any other race, and 2 races to go. Let's see what happens.
Overall for the day, Malcolm takes the 300 class, 300 Masters is Sean, and Sean Joffe in the power sports.
Up next, Super GTs and sports cars, and away they go on a rolling start. First into turn 1 is Cristiano Morgado, followed by Duncan Dos Reis and Jonathan Peterson. Up front, the 3 are really tight. It's a Nissan sandwich with Dos Reis's Porsche tight in the middle. Flying the Nissan GTR sponsored by Boss Marine is Peter Blofield, followed by sports cars leader Dave Robbie and his 1.3 litre space frame. Back up front, things haven't changed. Coming out of turn 8, it's still Morgado, Dos Reis and Peterson, with Dog Doctor Robbie in 4th. Five-time karting world champion Magado is leading the Porsche of Dos Reis as they come down the main straight. Three-time KZN Super GT Club champion Dos Reis running tight into turn 1. Blowfield in his all-wheel drive Nissan looking solid. Dog Doctor Dave Robbie in his home-built space frame diving in on Dos Reis' Porsche. Dave Robbie taking the lead now, leading both classes, both Super GTs and sports cars. It's end of race 1 and it's Robbie, Dos Reis and Magado. Race 2 and the grid has been inverted and away they go. Jonathan Peterson and Dos Reis already making their way up from the back of the field. We're in the cockpit now with Dos Reis getting a feel what it's like to be inside that Porsche. Mid-pack, it's Blowfield, Naidu and Ravi. Exiting turn 12, Jonathan Peterson leads Dos Reis and Peter Blowfield.
We are speaking to Dave Robbie, who drives the Suzuki Hayabusa turbocharged space freight. Dave, looking rock solid. The car's handling well. It's sounding good. You're on form.
So it's a touch slower than what I was in the previous race, but I'm happy because we had a few problems with the steering, which I've resolved. So maybe alignment's not perfect, but we'll get there.
Magado taking Peterson as he makes his way up to the front. Oh, what's happened to Peterson? Looks like he's gone off. Race 2 producing many casualties, and that's Dave Robbie spinning out, with that spin putting an end to his race. Morgado sneaking on the inside, going rally there, pushing Dos Reis wide. That'll cost him a 30-second penalty. Dos Reis is not going to be happy about that, I'm sure.
Duncan takes the overall in the Super GTs and Dave Robbie in the sports cars.
It's Formula Extreme, and with the whole shot we have Robin Aldred, Malcolm Rudman, Clint Massey Hicks and Jade Baxendale taking up the 4th slot. Joining the class today is Super Motards. This is quite unusual, but Motards have had many incidents where they have lost race time, so they're catching up on the back of Formula Extreme. Massey Hicks giving us a fantastic angle from his Honda CBR 600 on Wesley Smith as he goes down on Paradise Corner. Wesley standing in complete disbelief of his bad luck. Out of the Dunlop South Loop, and Malcolm Rudman leads Robin Aldred. An interesting fact is both of these guys started their racing careers in Mini GP class. That's Justin Matthew from Super Motors that's gone down. Look how he looks back to see if there's another bike about to hit him. Rudman leading, but Aldred is right behind him, waiting for his opportunity to attack. Oh, he's gone for it and got it. That's Craig Tarlington just holding off the Super Motards behind him. Coming out of turn 12, and Aldred has secured the 1st place, followed by Rudman and Massey Hicks for 3rd. The start of race 2 and off they go. We have Rudman on the 82 Kawasaki ZX6, followed by Aldred, Baxendale, Massey Hicks and Drew Gates. Right, I'm with Clint Massey Hicks. Clint, you've had a pretty good day out on the track today, finishing 3rd overall for the day. Take me through it.
Yeah, a lot of it's to do with bike setup. You know, in the A class now, the guys are so fast that a little bit of change in setup can make all the difference. You know, so we had a pretty good day. But I'd just like to thank you guys, you know, from KulumaTv and the team for being out there in the rain and producing some really good footage. And then for all the others out there that are sitting watching and maybe have super bikes, you know, there is a B class, and the B class is a lot of fun. I've done that for the last 2 years, and we encourage you to get off the roads and get on the track. It's a lot safer.
Robin Eldred having had a fantastic day out on the track with a first and second place and second overall for the day.
Malcolm takes the Class A and Stanley in B.
The largest class of the day, the Super Modifieds, Modifieds A, B and C. They're referred to as the saloons, and it's no wonder. When you see them, it's like the Wild West on the track, but in peak hour traffic with 29 cars chasing one another down. Out of turn 3 and the traffic congestion is terrible. It's like the Umhlanga drive on a Friday afternoon in peak hour traffic. That's number 99, Dieter Ziesing with a big puff of blue smoke heading out of turn 7, and Leo Branders in his car 43 VW Golf is leading the pack of saloons, followed by Shireen Rajpal and Alton Fox. And there's Dieter Ziesing with another puff of smoke coming out of the Dunlop South Loop, and the guys are about to race directly into the wind. The car shop banners are taking a hammering in this wind. Alton Fox and Shireen Rajpal is giving Leo Branders a run for his money today, all vying for that number 1 position. Modified C, Gary Brown in his 300 Ford Escort 2-litre leading his class. Goldwagon Springfield's Shireen Rajpal in his Golf 1 leading the pack, as Branders has fallen behind 5 places now. As race 1 ends, Alton Fox takes Super Modifieds, Rajpal takes A's, Damien Parker takes B's, and Gary Brown takes Class C. Race 2 and away they go. The wind is absolutely pumping right now. We go on board now with Alton Fox in his M-Track sponsored Golf 2. Right, I'm with Mr. and Mrs. Petzer. They're racing Modified C here at KZN Road Racing Club. Now, I believe you started this year, at the beginning of the season.
Correct, I have.
And when did you start?
Now, I started a couple of months ago. My wife always followed me around. I race off-road bikes. So at the beginning of the year, I said to her, I'm old bugger now, go race car. I'll come and be your pit puppy. And then I bought a car a couple of months ago, and I'm kicking ass.
Now,
Short-lived.
so you're gonna kick his butt soon.
Yes, I have.
You don't think this is gonna end your marriage?
No, it'll make it stronger because I'm the boss.
I can see this just turning into mayhem.
The first race, I took one for the marriage, and I let her beat me. But I took so much pain to the next one, it's never going to happen again. I mean, my mates gave me so much dish with that, so now she won't get it again.
No, Denver's going to repair my car to what his standard now, and then I'll be able to be on par again.
Yeah.
So much fun happening here at KZN Road Racing at Desi's Raceway on the South Coast. To my surprise, Zietsing's BMW that was puffing smoke earlier is running strong and in second overall, in front of Alton Fox. Andrew Strike having a cracker afternoon, taking first place in race 2 and second overall in his class. Ronald van Rensburg trailing Rajpal for a second spot in Modified A's. Modifieds B, Richard Loynes looking good for his second place class win. Dane Thompson going for a spin on that Dunlop South Loop, but manages to recover and take the 5th spot in the Modifieds B class.
Alton takes the Super Modifieds overall, with Shireen Modifieds A. Tim takes B and Gary C.
The future of racing right here in the Mini GP class, folks. These young guns putting their heart and soul on the line in front of moms, dads and a capacity crowd for that victorious moment as they pass over the finish line. Riley Day right out front on his Honda CRF 80 with quite a big lead, followed by Riley Perrin on his dad-sponsored Yamaha PW80 and Gabriel Besson on his Husqvarna 50. Quinn St. John Ward detours through the motocross track and gets back on the tarmac without incident. Newcomer Corey Walker fully committed on his KTM SX50.
And Riley Day keeps his winning ways going.
Never a dull moment with the 150 and 150 Masterclass as they shoot down the main straight into turn 1. And leading the pack, it is 150 Master Zane Davidson on his Honda CBR 150. Exiting turn 4, Zane Davidson leads, followed by Quinton Brown and Sean Joffe. JB Racing teammates Quinton Brown and Sean Joffe on the 85cc, holding on to second and third place behind Davidson. We're on board now with Vincent de Bock trailing Llewellyn Perrin. Into turn 1, Quinton Brown takes it from Davidson. As they head into turn 3, Joffe takes the lead. Moving into third position is Lee Singh. It's the end of race 1 and it's the Sean Joffe show. He has absolutely blitzed this from Quinton Brown and Lee Singh. Race 2 and you can see the two-stroke a mile away. Quinton Brown smoking it off the line. But it's Sean Joffe coming out in front through turn 1. Right, I'm standing with Lee Singh. Not as much water on the track. What's the plan for round 6?
Get a good start, try get close to the two strokes, turn 1, and just save my energy. Thank you.
It's Forrest Brown and Roy Haddett dicing down the main straight into turn 1. Exiting turn 5, it's Lee Singh, Mark Koch and Felix Krober. The end is in sight. Sean leads, Quinton, Lee and Zane. Roy Hallett leading the mid-pack, followed by Forrest, Llewellyn and Vincent. Exiting turn 12 and Felix Krober has the front end tucked in and goes sliding across the track.
And it's an overall for Sean with Quinton taking 150 Masters.
And the Retros are away with a rolling start, heading straight down towards turn 1. And it's Manfred Schroeder, followed by Meredith Willis and number 55, Daryl Mann, coming in from the side. Schroeder exiting turn 3 too wide, nearly pushing Willis into a tailspin, but Willis quick on his feet to recover. And what's happened here? As we pan back, we see Quinton Willis has collided with Mann, and John Bronner nearly entangled, but these guys dust off their shoes and race away. And these are our two front runners, Meredith Willis and David Hull, chasing around turn 8. And the green machine of Nikita Nell chasing the mid-pack through turn 8. Willis looking good for his first place, and Trevor Kerr in his Datsun GX Coupe for a 9th overall. John Bronner in his Alpha Junior 2-litre overtaking Nell's Ford Escort 1.6-litre. Vaughan Robertson's been making his way up through the field, looking good for a solid 3rd place finish. Willis having his focus set. Let's just hope his rotor holds out. Quinton Willis not deterred from his accident earlier, going in for that 4th place. KZN Retro Racing Team mean business as Hole is doing his best to hold Robertson off behind him. It hasn't been a favourable season for Rory Nossiter this year, due to some mechanical difficulties. And it's Meredith Willis who takes race 1. Away they go for race 2, and Arthur Egger tries his hand at rallying down the main straight, but pulling it together in his Renault R8.
Car's running alright.
All set up nicely?
We hope so. Just went out, had a little practice. My power steering was a bit stiff, so I'm just coming in and need a bit more fluid. So I'll go out to the Mustang just now and hopefully that's going to be much better.
Stone chips and things like that?
Not stone chips, more bugs and when the pieces of the tyres hit the windscreens, makes a little bit of a mark. So when you wipe it with the solvent, makes a smudge mark. So we polish it just to make it a little bit clearer.
It's the last lap for the Retros, and it's Meredith Willis leading, followed by Hole and Robinson. It's Meredith Willis with a huge lead over Hole, Robinson and his brother Quinton. The last stretch, and it's been a fantastic show from these awesome drivers and their classic old girls.
Meredith takes the overall win for the day.
Super Motards up, down, and away they go. Out of turn 1, and the Etzel brothers, Cole and Hein, are leading the pack, followed by Ryan Matchett and Leon Smith. Cole Etzel gaining some leadway, but Hein is following tightly behind. Out of the Dunlop South Loop, and the formation looks promising, but we've learned this year that nothing is set in stone. Justin Matthew following in third on his Husqvarna 450. Mid-race now, and the Etzel brothers are uncontested on turn 1. Klaus Etzel holding on for a second place, whilst Justin Matthew has his hands on first. It's the end of the last lap, and Cole managed to hold off Hein, but the brothers were way ahead of the pack. It's race 2, and to spice it up, they have reversed the grid. It's out of turn 1, and we have Ryan Matchett and Kenneth Wilson leading the pack. I'm with Hein Etzel. It's round 6 of the KZN Road Racing Club Championship. You're leading the championship in Super Motard. Is that 1 or 2 hands on the trophy? Is it coming home with you this year? Tell me about that.
Well, it's not over until the Fat 80 sings, but so far it's been a good season. We've won every heat besides one, but yeah, can't complain so far. We won't be here for the last events of the year, so it's just about getting enough of a points buffer to compensate for that.
Any tricks up the sleeve?
Not really, just going to go there, do whatever we can, and put our head down and try see if we can get the wins.
Once again, the Etzel brothers dominate, making their way all the way through the field from the back of the grid.
Cole takes the overall, with Justin taking the Masters.
Time challenge. It's the feeder class for the KZN Road Racing Club, and John Oliver in the Nash is getting some practice time on the track for an upcoming event. Guy Bull and his flame-spitting Morris down the main straight into turn 1. Camera shy Michelle van der Veste is in her mom's taxi taking turn 1. Michelle has shown some solid skill this season as she has improved her lap time every event. A retro racer joining the time challenge today is Alistair Webster in his GSM Flamingo. Alan Naidu in his Subaru also showing skill during his first racing season. It's the final round on the 9th of November. Double points are up for grabs, so a big entry is expected. You don't want to miss this one. A special thanks to carshop.co.za for making this broadcast possible.